What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the official season 2 of Give and Go, the NBA show. I'm your host, Dante Williams, and co-hosting this show with me, of course, is my brother Jimmy Williams. Now, on that note, it's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about today. The NBA season does start today, but I'm gonna push it back a little bit further because we both really didn't get to talk about free agency, our thoughts on that, draft picks, and we're gonna talk about the Kyrie situation, and then we're gonna talk about the games later happening tonight. All right. So on that note,
Sure.
free agency. So it was a lot of things that happened during free agency. I think this was one of the more interesting free agencies because I don't think we ever seen this many signing trades before for
Yeah.
different teams. Um. So I'm gonna ask you this: what do you think was the most interesting free agency move this summer?
Um. Well, me and you are biased a little bit for the Chicago Bulls. They got DeRozan, they got Lonzo. Of course, they added Vukovic last season, but one of the sleepers on their team, Alec Caruso, as well. So you could tell like the front office change makes a difference in the NBA, and it also makes a difference for players to want to actually come to your team.
Right.
So I think everybody felt like the Bulls is going, they're going to be in the playoffs for sure. But as far as all the free agency moves, I think they had one of the most successful free agencies this summer. A lot of people who Lakers fans gonna say Russell Westbrook, of course, going to LA, going back home. Um, I think Kyle Lowry going to the Heat. That was like a little change of scenery for him. It also
For
helped him
sure.
out at
For
the point
sure.
guard area. Um, and there was a couple of small other free agency moves. We had a lot of new coaches this season.
A
Uh,
lot.
we had a lot of different coaches changes. Jason Kidd going to Dallas, Chauncey going to Portland. I think people was anticipating Ben Simmons getting moved. We're gonna talk about that more later on.
Yeah. For
People
sure.
thought Damian Lillard was gonna be moved. He didn't get moved. See, CJ McCullough's still there. So
Mhm.
I know you want to go into a couple of free agency moves as well, but those is the ones that kind of stick out to me.
Yeah, I think if you consider what's been going on with the Bulls the last couple years, it's been a minute since we actually seen the Bulls have a legit offensive team,
Hmm.
and I think we have a really good defensive team. The Bulls always had good defensive teams, but I think if you look in the last like 20 years, when have we had like a real offensive powered like team, and
Right,
then I felt like players wasn't even coming to the Bulls at first. So we got to
right.
consider like when was the last time the Bulls signed legit free agents back to back? And I feel like the fact we got DeRozan, we got Lonzo Ball, we got Caruso, players like we need to win. I feel like
Hmm.
that's a big step in the right direction. Now,
And a lot of players did want to actually come to play with Zach LaVine. Like he was a real difference maker. People felt like he is becoming a consistent all star in our league. So
superstar.
the front office and the personnel that you have on your team can lure a lot of top free agents.
Hmm. And do you think it was a team out there you feel like they could have did more to get over that to get to the next level? Like you feel like a team
Um,
didn't really do too much?
Off the top of my head, I feel like Minnesota is like stuck in this weird spot where they don't know if they want to keep building around Karl Anthony Towns, and
Yeah,
they just got Anthony Edwards. That's a weird. They Minnesota been going through a lot, with Flip
yeah.
Saunders dying and COVID and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what Minnesota does. I heard they in the running for Ben Simmons too, but it's like they want, of course, have to give up D'Angelo Russell or Anthony Edwards to do that. I feel like Anthony Edwards is going to be a good player in the league. Carl Anthony Towns, he's still young. D'Angelo Russell still young. It's just I don't know. It's just they're not gelling well together where they're doing winning basketball. It's just like
Mhm.
they ever since Jimmy Butler and Tom Thibodeau left, it's like you know the winning culture there is not the same.
for sure,
Um,
for sure.
if of course, Golden State had a big free agency. I forgot to mention them as well. They got Iggy back, and they got a couple of rookies that are rookies 2 years ago that are now like 3-year players and got some experience, and then Klay Thompson coming back. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Like I said, Golden State, Minnesota, um, another team that probably could have made some moves. Washington, I feel like they holding on to Bradley Beal.
Hmm.
Um, they didn't really put it. I mean, they got Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma,
They got some
Montrez.
players.
They
They got
got
some
some
players.
players, but you're not seeing them as a legit playoff team. It's
Right, right, right,
I
right.
don't know what direction they. I think they really wanted to hold. They want to hold on to Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
but I mean he gonna be young for so long, man. I
And
don't feel like it's working in Washington right now.
I feel like Bradley Beal in the same boat as Damian Lillard right now in terms of like you want to stay loyal to that team, but they not really doing nothing to get y'all any better. So
Hmm.
I feel like they only have longer to get better. But we gonna talk about Golden State more later because they do play the Lakers tonight. That will be the last game. But I think another interesting team was the Miami Heat. Now I don't think the Heat they got a little bit better, but I don't think in terms of like that other superstar they need besides Butler. I don't think they have that yet. Kyle Lowry is. I feel like he is an upgrade over like Dragic, but
I mean, yeah, with injuries, yeah. I mean, but Dragic without getting injured, they of course
yeah.
they was a good team, but Kyle Lowry probably get him a little bit more on defense, the defensive end than Dragic does.
Hmm.
And Lowry can also shoot the ball, play off the ball, so that helped out with Jimmy Butler, going 1-on-1. So you could kind of nitpick with Dragic and Lowry. I mean, for the most part, everybody was anticipating Lowry going to another team. We just ain't know who it was gonna be. They threw out the Lakers, they threw out a couple of other teams, and he ended up going to the Heat, which he kind of fit the
Right,
culture
right,
of the
right.
Heat. So
All right. So enough about free agency. We is gonna get into the draft because it's. I think this is one of the most interesting drafts I think in a while in terms of pure talent. Um, you see, Cade Cunningham went number one, legit 6'8" small forward. Now he got some comparisons to LeBron in terms
mhm.
of being able to create for others and his size,
Right.
but there's a lot of people that argue to you too that Jalen Green should have went number one, and I think a lot of people got him going like winning Rookie of the Year in terms of his offensive ability. So
I mean,
what
I
you think?
I feel like you got a player like Cade Cunningham, you got the number one pick, you can't pass up on him. He's just one of those players that can just do it all. Jalen Green, it'll be an argument later on. He may win, a couple of scoring titles, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Cade is like the more complete player that you want to build your team around. Green
Mm-hmm.
not going to the Rockets to get 10 assists. Imagine he could become that type of player,
Right, right.
but he's more of a scorer. Cade Cunningham is more of like a facilitator. He can score, he could defend. Not saying Green can't do those things in the future, but right now, Cade Cunningham, you just can't pass up on a player like that. Um, he what 6'8" point guard. I mean, those are rare. Um, he's his ceiling right now is higher than Ben Simmons. If you're looking at tall point guards, Ben Simmons is 6'11". He got great defensive skills, but Cade Cunningham could shoot. He could pass. He could dribble. He really has no weakness to his game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, this is one of those generational players you can't pass up on. Um, Mobley on the Cleveland Cavaliers is going to be interesting to see. They kind of compare him to Chris Bosh. I watched a little bit of his preseason highlights,
Right.
but yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch him play. He's going to get a lot of opportunity on Cleveland. Um, we'll see if he becomes that type of Chris Bosh-ish power forward. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a couple other players, but of course, like I said, we're biased. Of course, I'm looking to see what AO on the Bulls do. Imagine it's a lot of we got a lot of guards at his position, so I don't know how many minutes he's gonna get on the Bulls. But
Mm-hmm.
he is one of those players that if the Bulls is rolling, he can get like 5 to 10 minutes a game and kind of come into his own. You know, he a Chicago kid as
Mm-hmm.
well, so it's gonna be fun to see what type of role he got on the Bulls, and also Thomas on Brooklyn. It's gonna be fun to watch him. The two rookies on Golden State, I think those two gonna be a lot as far as how much in depth Steve Kerr goes on his bench with those two.
Right. Exactly.
Because they still rookies. Wiseman is hurt. They still waiting on him to come back. Um, so it's a lot of rookies to watch. I forgot to mention in our preview that guard in Charlotte, the rookie.
Book night.
Yeah, I really like his game.
Yeah, he was one
He
of the best scorers coming out of school.
besides Green and Thomas on Brooklyn,
Right.
rookie of the year. He can definitely on Charlotte if he could come off the bench, and I could see him coming off the bench and averaging like 25 a game. Like he's just that good, and you know he could really help Charlotte as far as like maybe being one of their starters later on. But he nice too. I like his game.
Man, definitely don't sleep on Jalen Suggs in Orlando. Um,
Ah yeah,
he had a pretty good, preseason too. He looked legit. I think Orlando putting together like a decent backcourt. Him and Cole Anthony, Markel Fultz from the comeback. So the Magic got a real young team, and then you got Scotty Barnes in Toronto, who's a really good defender. So man, it's a lot of interesting rookies. Like I said, Io, I think personally could be a steal of the draft. For him to slip to the second round.
also to your point, it's we just mentioned all these rookies, but all these rookies they on teams where they have opportunities to play. Like some teams, you may see them like, we may play them here and there off the bench, but a lot of these rookies that got drafted are starting. Like they starting their career, which a lot of Hall of Famers and All Stars have done in the past. But it's gonna be fun just to see them actually get a lot of playing time and to see their game grow through NBA season. Because some of them are gonna have rookie growing pains. Like some of them gonna have bad games and stuff like that. But it's just gonna be fun to watch them kind of grow into their own game.
Yeah, it was a good point made about Davion Mitchell. The only thing is they have a lot of guards. They got Tyrese Halliburton and Fox, so I'm not sure what he going obviously be in the rotation, but I don't know how effective he will be. The Sacramento really haven't been like in the. I think they the longest lasting team that haven't made the playoffs. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happened with that. But other than the draft picks, so we're gonna talk about something that happened recently. So recently, like not even just basketball, but other sports, they putting the mandates out there that you have to get vaccinated because
Hmm.
teams don't want to get to like the playoffs and then situations pop up where they have COVID
Yeah.
or they really just want everybody to just buy in. Um, that way, it's not really spreading as much if everybody would get vaccinated. So,
Yeah, a lot of them got the city man. Some city mandates are different than other cities. It's not really the NBA. I don't think they. Of course, NBA wants players to get vaccinated, but they not
mhm.
saying the players can't play. Some certain cities saying that like the Kyrie Irving situation. If they not vaccinated, then they can't play, or they got to get tested certain amount of times. But yeah, it's. I'll let you touch on it a little bit, and then we talk about it.
Okay, so basically, what happened was, like I said, there's a mandate out there that you have to get vaccinated. Now, I don't think every team has that mandate, but they prefer that all their players get vaccinated. So basically, Kyrie Irving, and he went on Instagram Live and said this. His position is like a lot of people are losing their jobs because of these vaccine mandates. So he's
Mm-hmm.
basically being the voice for those people. But
Mm-hmm.
people like Stephen A. Smith, who went on First Take, was like, "You're getting paid to do your job. Like you're getting paid to play basketball. You losing all this money just to make a point."
Right.
And that sparked a lot of conversation about that issue that Kyrie, and I think he getting a lot of heat because one, I guess he has a slight history of people saying he doesn't show up. He just decides what he wants to do, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
this. And a lot of people, took his side, be like, yeah, like a lot of people had COVID before, so they can relate to what Kyrie is saying. So,
Hmm.
and
I mean,
then
it's 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 a good conversation to have. A lot of people refrain from it. A lot of people then argued about it. COVID been going on for the past year and a half, almost 2 years.
for sure,
So of course, everyone wants to get back. That's the fine line with this, right? Everybody wants to get back to normal, but also it's people that don't want to be forced to feel like they have to get the vaccine. So it's like a fine line. Do we want to get back to normal? Do we want to get the vaccine? People feel like COVID is fake. It's just a regular flu. They feel like
right,
they're not going to
right,
get sick. So they don't mind not getting the vaccine because they feel like people die from the flu. Everybody has their opinions and viewpoints about it, but it comes down to the facts at this point. The fact is, Brooklyn or the state of New York, they want him to get vaccinated in order to play. They want all the, I guess, I don't know if they want the fans to be vaccinated coming in the arena. They're trying to get their numbers down. Okay,
right.
that's a fact. Two, people are still going to get sick or catch COVID, I should say, by by still getting the vaccine. That's a fact. They're just not going to get as sick as you would get if you didn't get the vaccine. So that's another fact. So that's what the NBA, that's what everybody in the world is trying to get back to that normal. And the fact is that if you catch it when you're not vaccinated, you have the potential of being, put in the hospital. That's what they want
Right,
to avoid.
exactly,
A lot
exactly.
of a lot of NBA players last season, all the COVID restrictions and everything, that was frustrating to watch as a fan, and I already know it, as a player to play in that. And you missing some players this game, some players next game. Coaches were getting couldn't
For sure,
coach.
for sure.
So I mean, this is all to try to get back to normal. Now I do understand what Kyrie's saying. You do have a choice. You should have a choice whether you want to get the proper vaccination and stuff like that. But then you got people arguing and say, he makes XYZ amount of money. I mean, at this point, all that's relevant to is the Brooklyn Nets. They don't have to pay him if they're have a set guidelines where they felt like, you know what, if you're not going to do this, then we don't have to pay you, which is fair in their part. So
Right, right.
it kind of puts the ball in Kyrie court a little bit to see how long he wants to hold out, if he still wants to, stick up for what he believes in and stuff like that, or stick to what he wants to do with his body. So I mean, it's really gonna be touch and go for the next couple weeks, a couple months, however long he decides to, not get vaccinated. But I think you will be lying if you say KD and Harden didn't want him to get vaccinated. The whole organization wants him to play. Everybody wants him to play. Everybody just wants to see him play. A lot of people not talking about Bradley Beal. He also didn't get the vaccine, I don't think.
Right, exactly.
But Washington's mandate is different. He's allowed to play. So, people not really talking about Bradley Beal's situation, but he in the same boat as Kyrie, except that Kyrie's not allowed to play because of the New York mandate.
But
So,
let's be real though. I feel like Kyrie. Let's be real. Kyrie really catching heat because the Brooklyn Nets are contenders. They're the favorites to win the championship.
yeah, for
While
sure.
Bradley Beal is on the Wizards, who people don't expect to win the championship. Look, so let's be
Yeah,
real, because that's gonna tie into, oh, if Kyrie doesn't play, he's hurting the Brooklyn Nets' chances of getting the championship. And if Brooklyn don't end up winning it, everybody gonna be looking at Kyrie like, you ain't want to get the vaccine, and then
for
it's gonna look
sure.
bad on the Brooklyn Nets part.
Yeah, for sure. And part of his willingness to kind of stick with the mandates last year. I mean,
Right.
they weren't told to be around, certain family members, just for certain parts of the season. And he was at birthday parties. He was, he did the whole mental health thing. So it's that's the whole why Kyrie story is bigger because of what happened last season. If none of that stuff happened with Kyrie last season, this maybe wouldn't as be a big of a deal. But now it's like it's consistent that Kyrie is kind of not being on the basketball court, not due to injuries, but just due to stuff that ultimately he can control at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He can control where he wants to get the vaccine. He can control whether he wants to do this and that. And ever since he got to Brooklyn, well, after KD and Harden got there, it started to become like a big thing as far as is he gonna play or not? Is he doing this and that? So Kyrie's storyline gonna go on until he decide he want to get the vaccine, or if the whole state of New York decide like, hey, you know what, we're gonna change the mandate just so Kyrie can play.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's really not in the NBA's. You know, they can't really force anybody to get it. They're just hoping that people would get it. And people that don't get it, I think they have to get like more tests than the others. So
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be
And then
interesting to see.
yeah, and another thing too, we finna switch the topic right quick, but man, shout out to the Chicago Sky for winning the
Yeah,
championship. Um, now it this is interesting because
the real CP3.
yeah, a lot of people like if you even look to it, like looking back some of the games early in the season, a lot of people didn't even go to Chicago Sky games, and then you kind of see when the season went on, when they started winning, people started going. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think a lot of people should appreciate the WNBA more. Um, Look, they
I
had their
mean, it definitely was an excitement when everybody found out Candace was coming back home. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
they were in the finals. What was that? 2016 or 14,
I
something like
think
that.
so. I think so.
And they almost won, and they lost to Phoenix. So
Hmm.
that makes this win like even more sweeter.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
fact that Kansas is home, the fact that the same players that lost to Phoenix were on the team still,
Sure,
and
for
they
sure.
kind of got their redemption, and they the first team to ever win the Chicago Sky championship. So
And
they're
they
gonna
got
be
some
forever.
players. They got some players
They're gonna
for
be
sure.
forever in the history of Chicago Sky. Having that first one,
Yeah,
and it just make it better that Candace was a part of it. Also, quickly from I think she was from Joliet. She also Illinois native. So it's just good. It's a good story. It's a good feeling for Chicago, and it definitely brings excitement back to women's basketball in Chicago, and it also brings a little excitement because this playoffs was a little different. Like that, I don't know if it was just because we was actually watching the Sky win, but it was a different intensity as far as
for
watching them
sure.
play
For sure.
all season. So
All right, so yeah, shout out to Chicago Shad. Uh Chicago Sky, I meant to say. They had their parade today. They celebrated, and hopefully they win some more titles in the future. But now that the WNBA is over, the NBA season, like I said, starts today. But we're gonna talk about a situation that happened earlier today. So if you guys like haven't lived under a rock or anything, so it's been rumors all summer about Ben Simmons getting traded. Now look, we didn't seen some trade scenarios we talked about on a couple of shows. A lot of people seen Ben Simmons might go to the Warriors. People was like they gonna give up Wiggins, Wiseman, they draft picks. Who knows? There was rumors he could go to the Kings. Do they give up Fox, Halliburton? Do they give up some of their draft picks? Harrison Barnes, maybe. And I think it's getting to the point now that I don't think Ben Simmons and the Sixers can coexist with each other.
oh
Um,
no,
because a lot of people, if you remember, after that series, Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid literally went to the media online and kind of scrutinized him, and then they kind of expect him to just toss it under the rug and just like, oh yeah, everything cool now. But I can understand like it's Philadelphia, they really care, but at the same time, it's like you need to trade them. But other than that, before I get more into it, I want to show y'all this video. Uh, so this is what Joel Embiid said earlier
after
after the practice.
okay,
At this point, I don't care about that man, honestly. He does whatever he wants. That's not my job. That's those guys' jobs. I'm only focused on trying to make the team better, win some games, play hard every night, try to lead, the guys that we have here. And I'm sure they feel the same way because, our chemistry has been excellent. Despite everything that's been happening in the last few months. So yeah, like I said,
Now,
I got a couple issues with Embiid, man.
hey,
I'll let you go first, but I got some issues with Embiid.
uh, okay, so this is my first issue
Hmm.
with that situation. So for one, like I just alluded to, after that series versus Atlanta, Joel Embiid basically kind of threw shade at Ben Simmons, kind of blamed him for losing the series for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you talking about I don't care about that. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, right? And the viewers and the people comment, double check it for me. Didn't like a week and a half ago, Joel was like, "Hey, we want him here. We built the
I
team. We
promise
was
you.
building the team around Ben Simmons. We really want him here." And then you come out today. You come out today after he gets kicked out of practice and like, "I don't care about that man." And I like Ben Simmons. You got to pick a side, bro. You got to pick a side
Yeah,
because
you got to pick a
you
side.
can't be sitting here trying to play both. Like you either one team, you not. Them comments he made after they lost that game,
Mm-hmm.
nobody went on that podium and defended Ben Simmons like they were supposed to. Like they
And
may have threw out little subliminals of maybe
mhm,
trying to be on his side, but nobody came out and said, "Hey, it's not Ben Simmons' fault." They didn't do none of that. All right. Then
mhm,
all summer they talking about they
mhm.
want him on the team and stuff like that. Then he says, or his agent says he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to go to training camp. That's a clear sign that you should not invite this man to practice. He does not want to be there. So what
Mhm.
do the Sixers do? They tell him to come anyway. They
Mhm.
say they're gonna find him, all this and that. They don't trade him. I don't know if it's because they want certain draft picks still or whatever. So you have him come to practice. He came to practice yesterday. He wasn't engaged. He came to practice today. Doc Rivers told him to do something. He says no. He said, "Okay, I need you to do this." No, all right, you can go home. What did y'all expect? Like, what did people expect
I don't know. I don't
when
know what they
they just
expected.
thought that business was gonna walk into practice and just be like, "All right, since I'm here, I'm gonna start hooping." He does not want to be there. Mind you, it's a certain professionalism that you can go about it with. You could still come to practice and still not talk, but still be engaged in the drills and whatever. And if you do decide you want to play, talk to coach. Look, I really don't want to play. I just want to, wait till I get traded on that. It's a different way to go about it, but I mean, at the same time, they've been kind of down in his name all
And
off season, and it's
person
like, what you
and,
expect?
and personally, before I explain more about the Ben Simmons situation, but literally in the bubble, the Sixers got swept, and like we're the blame. Like that's a blame for everybody. They pretty much have the same exact team they had in that bubble, and then you lose to the Atlanta Hawks, and I think everybody expected Philly to lose, but like they lost. Like you lost. You the number one seed in the East, and people thought had y'all going to the finals, maybe beat knocking off Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all didn't even make it then. So I think there's a lot of people you need to blame. It's been times Tobias Harris didn't even show up, and and people can consider him the second best scorer on that team. So I think it should be blamed for a lot of people. A lot of people need to look at themselves in the mirror.
I personally, if I was a general manager, Ben Simmons would have been traded during the summer. Why would you bring this type of Joel Embiid talking about this fake? Everybody has good chemistry right now. Is
Right.
BS because it's like y'all got a whole player that's like y'all second best player on y'all team that doesn't want to be there, and you talking about it's good. It's like once y'all lose Ben Simmons, like that whole defensive playmaking package that's gone. So
And
yeah,
I
so
think
Daryl Morey needs to. He should have traded him this summer, got it over with. That way you can go into the season with no, turmoil, no, coaches kicking players out of practice. Like it just now they didn't. That's gonna be the topic of conversation until he leaves now, and it's not looking good for the Sixers in the East because
yeah,
no other team has this type of drama besides Brooklyn, and that's crazy. Like Brooklyn and the Sixers are like two of the top three teams in the East, and they both got the most drama going on because of one player. That's crazy.
and I feel like Brooklyn's kind of slightly different only because KD and everybody they still cool with Kyrie. I think that's more like the front office thing. So that's kind of makes it even kind of worse if you think about it. But other
Yeah.
than that, Philly, I don't know what Daryl Morey thinks he can get for Ben Simmons in a trade, but he's not getting a legit All Star in return. going to trade a legit all-star on your team for Ben Simmons. Let's be real. And you ain't finna wait for his contract to expire because you just signed him to like 5 years max deal. So you're gonna have to trade him for something. But
I mean, at man, look, at this point, they need to take what they can get. Because I mean, it's killing the teams. If you can get at least 2 first rounders and another player for him, that's what you're just gonna have to settle with, man. Because or you can get some future second round. You got to do something. If Minnesota want to give you D'Angelo Russell in the first round, just take it. You getting the all-star guard for all-star guard. If you want to take him to Sacramento, and your only options is taking Buddy Hill and 2 or 3 other players, man, I don't know. They ruined it for themselves.
Yeah, but like I said, it's gonna be interesting. If Philly was the first seed last year, so we don't know what's gonna happen.
They definitely not gonna be the first seed this season.
Definitely I know. Not. But other than that, we got 2 teams who I legit think can be the first seed. The Nets and the Bucks. That's the first game. They come on tonight at 6:30. Now, this is gonna be an interesting game because the Bucks put the Nets out, but KD was close to single-handedly putting the Bucks out. Everybody remember that shot, that fadeaway shot.
Indeed. He was pissed. He was pissed about that.
Harden was on one leg, so
right.
And I think a lot of people back to free agency. I think the Nets, if you look at their roster, they way better than last year.
Oh yeah,
they got deep. They picked up Patty Mills. They picked up Paul Millsap. They lost Jeff Green, but you pick up Paul Millsap, who I think still is a good veteran forward they can use.
Yeah. They got LaMarcus back. Yeah.
You got LaMarcus back. You drafted Cam Thomas, who won co-MVP of the Summer League.
Yeah.
So, you got Javon Carter. A lot of people sleep.
I didn't think it was possible for Brooklyn to really make big changes, but that Patty Mills was the one for me. Patty Mills, you watched him on San Antonio. He was just always that guard that was scrappy, that was hitting big shots. You seen him this summer when he was helping Brazil. Was it Brazil? It was Brazil, right? Mm-hmm. With their team, and when I heard Brooklyn sign him, I was just like, my God. Everybody was talking about, Lakers getting Westbrook and stuff like that, but Patty Mills coming off the bench behind Kyrie that's scary. That's he could do it all. He just one of them players that you hate to go against, but you want him on your team, So
yeah, and then I feel like if you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they the reigning champs. They getting their rings tonight. They home, so there's gonna be a lot of excitement about that.
But Giannis has improved from what I've seen.
His jump shot did look better.
Okay. So to break down his jump shot a little bit, it looks the same. He's releasing it quicker. He seems like he seems like he has more of a rhythm when he's shooting, and like I said, he's releasing it quicker. It's not that slow. When you shooting slow, it kind of makes it tentative when you release. But when it's a quick release, you just going in one motion. When he was doing it slower, it was almost 2 or 3 motions, and he let it go. So that looks better. His ball handling looks good. It seems like he's picking certain spots. I seen him dribble up the court, stop at the free throw line, and pull up. I was like, wait, hold on. I ain't never seen Giannis do that before.
I've seen that too, but like I told people, during the series, the whole playoff series, what really makes the Bucks is Chris Middleton. I feel if Chris Middleton, because I was questioning him because it was some games Chris Middleton, I felt like he just went away and vanished. Nobody know what happened to him. Mm-hmm. But everybody knows when you get that ring, your mindset different now. You really don't have much to lose in a way.
Right.
But I feel if Chris Middleton played like how he did, because some of them games in the playoffs and final, he dropped 40. Real talk. And then you got Drew Holiday who made some good plays. But
that's what I was gonna say. I gotta disagree with you and say Drew Holiday is he's gonna guard the best player, or the best guards, I should say.
But
I mean, even he guarded LeBron some games when they played the Lakers. So I mean, Drew Holiday versatile.
But check this out. I think when it comes down to the end of them games, you finna get the ball to Chris Middleton.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I really,
See,
because
now you picking apples and oranges because I'm talking defense and you talking offense. So I mean,
I'm
they
saying
both they both, unique in their own way. I just feel like Drew Holiday, just for some fact
mhm,
that if you look at that play in the playoffs that he made, that still, that's what got
yeah,
them,
for sure.
know what I'm saying?
But
So,
but you got to consider like, man, a lot of these teams coming back healthy. You're not gonna say Milwaukee does make it back to the finals. You
hmm
against the Lakers, like Drew Holiday, I don't think it's gonna matter as much as Chris Middleton because you don't need that scoring or Golden State. And you
I
like
mean, Drew Holiday can score too now. I
no,
just,
he can, but
but
Middleton is they. I feel like he they X factor. Like he'll open up the floor, everything. He can rebound, he can assist. Like I don't. But Drew Holiday is an All Star caliber guard. Don't it's not. He did make the All Star team. He was on Team USA, so he not no scrub. But I feel like at the end of the day, Chris Middleton is that X factor they need. You get him the
we gonna
ball.
have to we have to disagree on that.
No,
I'm
no, no,
sure.
no. You
I'm
must
sure
ain't seen
some
the
of the.
finals
I'm
then.
sure some of
You
the
must ain't
viewers.
watched the finals then.
Look. Chris
No.
Middleton hit some big shots, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't sit here and say Drew Holiday and make a lot of defensive plays that win them some games too. Like
Yeah, I'm not saying that either, but
we gonna
man,
make that
they
a
all
poll.
yeah.
We gonna make that a poll later on. We gonna
But
for the people who watching in the comments or when you watching on YouTube, who's a bigger factor for Milwaukee, Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday?
yeah,
Y'all let
please
us
let me know.
know.
Please let
Y'all
me
let
know.
us know in the comments because
Please let me know.
I feel like I'm right and he wrong.
Of course you're
So
gonna think that. But but I think what makes outside of like your starting five, you gotta have a bench. And I think a lot of people did try to argue that Milwaukee kind of got worse in the free agency. You lose PJ Tucker. I mean, you still got Bobby Portis, but Portis is hurt
yeah,
tonight, so he won't play. But you pick up Grayson Allen,
another
George
shooter.
Hill, yeah,
Yeah.
George Hill, Rodney Hood, who's also out tonight. So a lot of people think they lost depth a little bit.
I mean, but I don't think PJ Tucker was really like when they picked him up. I thought he didn't really hit a lot of corner threes like he was in Houston.
Mm-hmm,
Um, I just felt like he wasn't the same player as he was in Houston.
mm-hmm,
Uh, Defensively, he was guarding KD, but wasn't nobody stopping KD. So I mean, it didn't
right,
matter who was on KD. Giannis, PJ, Christmas, he was killing everybody.
right,
So
right.
I think they had to pay Bobby. He a fan favorite. He came off the bench, gave him some buckets. You could fill in PJ Tucker's spot with anybody else who could spot up three in the corner.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, I would say Brooklyn depth looks a little bit better than Milwaukee
Mm-hmm,
this season. Um, but we'll see how injuries and health and stuff play out.
mm-hmm.
We got
Now,
to do a rundown of all these teams though. We gotta. I got the list right here. When you ready to
oh
run
yeah,
through it, like in the next couple minutes, and then we're gonna run through all the teams and
okay. So before we do that, let's get into the second game tonight. The Lakers.
okay.
Now, these are the two teams people expect to both make it to the finals in each of their conferences, respectfully. And you could look at this in a lot of different ways. One, man, imagine seeing Westbrook versus Durant in our finals on different teams.
Yeah,
And
that
then,
that would be headlines with it. I mean, even though it should be KD against LeBron, but of course
yeah,
Westbrook.
for
Yeah,
sure, that's gonna be that too. But man, like the storyline, like it would be crazy. And then, like I said, the Lakers picked up Russell Westbrook over the
I
summer.
think. See, here's what like our expectations was that last season, right? And
Hmm.
we ended up with Milwaukee and Phoenix. So
Right.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I mean, of course, Lakers and Nets both the favorites because the Clippers is kind of injured with Kawhi out.
Hmm.
So of course they the two favorites up there. But like I said, we ended up with Milwaukee and the Suns, and it was just like okay, it wasn't as exciting. Everybody was happy that Giannis won, or people wanted CP3 to win his first one. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, we'll see.
And yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game. Like I said, the Lakers have 5 players that's injured, so we don't know that. Outside of Brooklyn, I think it's just Kyrie, I believe, that's hurt. Or
Yeah,
not hurt, but he just can't play under the mandate. But
but the Lakers playing Golden State, right?
yeah, they playing. Yes, they playing Golden State.
I'm
That was an error on my
excited.
part.
I'm
That was
excited.
an error on my part.
I'm
but
excited
but
to watch Steph.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. I meant to put the Lakers versus the Warriors, so that was on my fault.
Yeah,
But
I'm like, am I
yeah,
losing my mind
yeah,
already?
the
I know
Nets
this
or the
season
Bucks.
too, episode 1, we just started, but damn.
Yeah, that was my fault, y'all. But other than that, Golden State, I I highly believe when Clay gets back, which is probably like January or February, I think I think they can compete with the Lakers. I think that's the biggest threat to the Lakers in the West.
So
And
you know what the scariest thing I heard somebody say, right?
what?
They said Golden State gonna be good if Klay Thompson can even come back at like 80 to 85%. Like they gonna be a final team. You know how scary that is. Like Klay don't even have to come back 100%.
But
They
this is what
said
people
80 to 85%. Klay Thompson, the Warriors in the finals. Like that's how scary their team is. Like
and check this out. Like Achilles and ACL, that's not going to affect your shooting at
yeah,
all. So
it does. I will say so. We talking shooting turns because I am a shooter.
yeah,
Uh, a lot of power comes from your legs when you
Mhm.
know it gets you that consistency and that lift when you shooting the jump shot. So
Mhm.
I mean, we don't know how his. I think in question is his mobility. Mind you, he could still shoot standing there. You can still get your shot off. But let's be realistic. In the NBA, you go at 6'8" with a 6'9" wingspan jumping out at you. You know, you got to have some lift on your shot. So you do have to
Mhm.
jump off the ground. Not that he was a high jumper like Westbrook jumps like all the way in the air when he shoot. Klay
Mhm.
Thompson just got to get a little bit off the ground, but I think his mobility as far as running around screens, he could spot up easy. But running around screens and off the dribble shots, that's what I'm gonna be interested to see how good he do. And also him playing defense. Klay Thompson is one of the best defenders in the league when healthy. He
And
could, yeah.
I think he gonna come back fine because for one, it's the same system they're basically in. It's probably some new faces they're playing with, yeah, but I
But you
feel that
don't,
you got
but
a
but but
person
you
like
don't know,
Draymond.
but you don't
But
know if his like mobility is gonna be exactly like this. You don't know if
yeah,
his speed may be a little off.
hmm
His defensive slash may be off. Like all that you got to kind of take into question. Mind you, he's I'm sure he's been working out and strengthening his legs or whatever, but you don't know what little speed he did lose that may give him that edge against certain players. But he's still a great player. Like I said, 85% Clay on the Warriors right now is tremendous for them.
okay, so yeah, the second game tonight, Lakers versus Warriors. Now I'm finna let my brother he got the list, so we finna break down all the NBA teams or either what happened in free agency or the off season,
And
and
then
we
you
go
want to go into the expectations too, or we just
yeah,
go?
I want to go into the expectations.
So the first one I got. How many teams in the NBA? 30 something.
hmm
So first one on the list is Atlanta. Atlanta, they got Ice, traded gang. Um, he an all star. He's becoming a superstar, and he impressed me a lot in the playoffs against the Knicks.
hmm
He took that kind of personal. They did good against Milwaukee. I felt like a little bit more experience, would have kind of put them over the edge. But
hmm
and then they signed back John Collins, so that was a huge piece on their team. He could stretch for, he could defend. He's super athletic. I don't know if they really added any. They added like two rookies. They added Sharif Cooper. He
A
gonna be
steal,
nice.
a
He's a really
steal.
good passer. Yeah, he was definitely a
Yeah,
steal. He
they
dropped in the
needed
draft.
they needed another point guard who can create. And if you
Yeah,
haven't seen the preseason, he didn't throw some ooze off the backboard. Like you can
yeah,
and then feel like he can learn off Trey. And then they picked up the long right. You still got Lou
yeah.
Williams.
And
Um,
and I think in question for Cooper was his shooting, but it's like he got Trey Young on the team. All they ask you to do is pass the ball. The
yeah,
scoring could come. Hopefully he does get a better shot, but the Hawks is definitely gonna be top 5 in the East. Um, we'll see how far Trey Young take them.
and
I
I
feel
feel
like they definitely need a little bit more veteran experience if they want to
like,
if they want to get put over the top.
I mean, you got Lou Williams. That's a nice veteran, but I want to say this. I feel like if Cam Reddish can take that next step with his potential, I feel like Atlanta will be dangerous.
Or they have a lot of pieces they can trade if they want to get
Yeah.
like a Bradley Beal
You
or
still got Bogdanovich. Like you, hey, look,
yeah
I'm telling you right
they
now.
they can go out and get Bradley Beal. They could switch it up and go after Ben Simmons. Oh, who knows? I mean, they have a lot of pieces on their team that they could work with and trade for if they want to do that. But we can move on. We already talked about Brooklyn, so we can skip them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Boston because Boston had these high expectations for the last 3 seasons, and they haven't met any of them.
So this is how I feel about Boston. One, obviously they didn't have Jaylen Brown in the playoffs. He was hurt. I feel like if they have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they can be really effective. How
effective are they in the playoffs though? Like that's what Boston always makes the playoffs, and then
But Boston really, I always thought their team wasn't complete. Like they never really had a real big. Besides, I think Robert Williams could be decent, but other than that, the Boston really had. They was always incomplete. I don't know what they was missing, but Kemba Walker didn't work. Gordon Hayward didn't work. Kyrie didn't work. So
they got Schroeder. They got the $5 million man. No,
I
should say 80. I should say 85. 80 right. The $80 million man. Schroeder.
Boston, they always probably sneak into the playoffs one way or another, but if they're gonna get far, no. I honestly think they should trade maybe like a Marcus Smart, maybe to see what you can find. He's a good glue guy, but in terms of like putting you over that hump, I'm not sure.
Then they got a new coach, and then Brad
new system, so we don't know how they gonna. You got Al Horford back. I don't know how much that's gonna. I mean, he's a solid veteran big. I feel like they can use.
Well, he was one of them players they should have never got rid of. Like, I mean, he just was doing everything they needed. And then when they lost him, they kind of lost a piece of their team that was important. But I
see they gonna make the playoffs probably one way or another. But there's a lot of teams in the East that did get better, so it's gonna be a lot more competition this season. And Tatum gonna have to take that next step.
So we got up next Charlotte.
Okay, for one, Charlotte actually had a good summer.
They was fun to watch last season. Yeah, I will say that.
So Charlotte, like a team like Charlotte, you're not gonna get. It's gonna be hard to get free agents to come to Charlotte because they're a lower market and it's just Charlotte. So what do? You get Book Knight in the draft, who I feel like could be a really good scorer off the bench for them.
Oh yeah.
You look at their team. You got Rozier, you got LaMelo Ball, you got Miles Bridges, who's like a highlight reel. Gordon Hayward, they didn't have him in that playing game, but I think he's gonna come back healthy. That can help them. They got Kelly Oubre, who I think off the bench will be very solid, athletic. Who else they got? You got PJ Washington, a solid young forward, Mason Plumlee. So Charlotte has a nice little team. A team like that, you basically just gotta try to get all you can get. But I feel like getting Book Knight was a good thing for them.
Step in the right direction.
Yeah, in terms of drafting, you get LaMelo and then you get Book Knight the next year. I think Charlotte heading in the right direction. I don't think they might maybe sneak in the 8th, maybe, I don't know, in a playing games, but we gonna have to see. We gonna have to see with them.
Moving on to our Chicago Bulls. We touched on them a little bit, but I'll speak on that a little bit. Like I said, they got Lonzo, they got DeMar DeRozan, their ball movement look good.
Playoff bound.
Yeah, their defense will be in question. Vukovic's defense also will be in question. We know they can score the ball. Starting out the season, Kobe White gonna be hurt, so he's gonna miss a couple of games. Patrick Williams is back, so that's good. It's gonna be fun to see his development. He had a really good summer league. And then Billy Donovan, got them playing at a good pace. We never seen a Bulls offense like this in a while. So it's just gonna be exciting to watch them play. Definitely playoff bound for sure. Cleveland is up next for you. I'm gonna let you do Cleveland because I don't have nothing to say about Cleveland.
Cleveland, I don't know what their clear direction is.
Colin Sexton declined. He gonna be a restricted free agent.
I knew that was gonna happen because it was rumors that they might trade him. It was even rumors that his teammates felt like he didn't get them involved in the offense. He was like more like a ball hog. But who did they have on their team? But then you have then the next year you draft Darius Garland, another guard And I don't know, Cleveland thought they can play together. They clearly probably can't because they too small. Kind of like how Dame and CJ kind of is in a way. But
Mm-hmm.
and then you have all these bigs. You got Kevin Love, Jared Allen. You get Laurie Markkinen from the Bulls, and then you got Evan Mobley, who they can view probably as a franchise type player.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Ricky Rubio. Cleveland. I don't expect them to make the playoffs, but I do expect them to try to get rid of some of those players. I think they should get rid of Colin Sexton, either whether it's at the trade deadline, or maybe you can try to get Ben Simmons. I don't know. You add some more bigs to your team. Y'all like getting bigs, right?
Yeah, send Ben
Get some
Simmons to
more bigs.
Cleveland, where he's going to be
Right,
extremely happy.
yeah, get some more bigs. So I mean, I don't expect Cleveland to make the playoffs. I don't see what their clear direction is. I feel like they need to figure out who gonna be there for the long term. Get rid of Kevin Love. Them kind like they basically need to do what the Bulls do. Just get some of them players that don't need to be there no more. Just get rid of
Facts.
just make
So
a clear direction.
I'm gonna do next team, Dallas. Dallas is always an excited team because of Luka.
Magic.
I don't know how Porzingis and them are going to gel with Jason Kidd. They got a new coach. They didn't make too many moves. They signed Tim Hardaway, I think, back. They didn't.
They basically got some.
I think they need to improve at the center position, and they need to improve at the small forward position. I don't know how they can go. They could get to the playoffs with Luka alone. They just need to fill those holes. Like if they was able to get a player like Ben Simmons, I think that would add another dynamic to their team. But they would probably have to get rid of Porzingis. But that's depending on how long they want to keep Porzingis for. I mean, he hasn't had really 2 good seasons back to back. Maybe because of injuries, I'm not sure. So it's gonna be interesting to see how far they go. It's not gonna be on Luka hands. It's gonna be on everybody around him on the team as well as they play. So we'll see. Also, we'll see if Jason Kidd adds another dynamic to their defense or their offense. But you, sir, you have the Denver Nuggets to talk about.
The Denver Nuggets, team that got swept by Phoenix. Now we know they don't have Jamal Murray. He's out with an ACL injury.
Is he still out though? Or is he gonna be back like January?
Nah, it's probably gonna be a minute till he get back.
Okay.
You signed Michael Porter Jr. to a 200 max, which kind of shocked me because even though he is on the rise, but you would
he hasn't hasn't made like an all-star team where I feel like
but
he is a really good player though. I did say he's Kevin Durant-ish, but
I think they
pay him that money. He needs to be averaging like 25 points a game right now this season. Like it should be no game where he doesn't average below 20, 25 points.
Now, obviously, when Jamal Murray get back, that potential of that team gonna fall upon Michael Porter. You pay him $200 million, so now he has to play like a $200 million type player. They picked up Jeff.
He has to defend. His defense is questionable.
I think obviously they'll be a solid team. They'll probably make the playoffs, but in terms of seeing them make it far, I don't see it. I still think because we don't know if Jamal Murray gonna come back 100%, even with the ACL injury. We don't know how he gonna come back, but I'm not. They gonna make the playoffs, but as far as going to like the finals, I don't see it. They gonna be a first, second round exit. And Jokic is a beast. I want to say that he's a beast, but
don't disrespect Jokic like that.
No, Jokic is a beast, but I think other teams are a little bit deeper than them. But don't sleep on a rookie, Bones Highland. I didn't see him in the pre. Dude gonna be cold for the Nuggets, but I still think they need probably a little bit of bench. You got Aaron Gordon, but in the playoffs last year, I think he scored 0 points one of them games. So hey, look, I don't know, but it's yours. The next team is yours.
I'm gonna have to speed through this. We got a couple minutes left. I'm gonna do 2 of them. So next we got Detroit. They got Cade Cunningham. Of course, he's injured, so we're not really gonna get to see him. That's the only reason people watching Detroit right now. So we're gonna leave that alone. Then we got Golden State. We touched on them already. So I mean, the
contenders or not? Are they contenders?
Golden State with Clay back for sure.
Okay.
Without Clay, they still a playoff team.
Okay.
The Rockets. We touched on Jalen Green. That's really their team. Jalen Green. Oh, Woods. Christian Woods. He a good player, double machine.
And then we got to look out for John Wall,
Yeah.
where he might get traded to. There was a rumor earlier that Miami might look to get him in a buyout situation. So
Miami don't need him, man. They
yeah,
got
they
enough.
don't. They don't. But tell me the next two teams.
Jordan. While she's over here touching stuff. The next two teams you got, if you can go through them quickly, is the Pacers and the Clippers.
So the Pacers have new head coach Rick Carlisle. Now the Pacers, I'm not sure. The Pacers is a weird team because they pretty much have the same team the last like decade, but the potential of the Pacers is going to rely upon T.J. Warren when he gets back. You got Sabonis, you got Brogdon who they just signed to an extension. You got LeVert in that trade with James Harden last year. So
they in the same question as Minnesota. I don't know what direction they trying to. They're holding on to Miles Leonard like he's like a superstar center in Miles Turner. Whatever. I can't even remember the name because like that's how irrelevant he's been the past 2 seasons, and they will not trade this man. Trade him. Trade everybody else. Like I don't know what direction the Pacers. I don't know. I had to cut you off because the Pacers have been pissing me off. It's like they keep picking up players and I don't know what they're doing with them.
But they did get a good rookie though this year, so we gonna see with that. What was the other team?
Clippers.
The Clippers. We know Kawhi gonna be out probably maybe to the playoffs. Maybe he tore his ACL. If anybody didn't hear, the Clippers is really interesting. I still think they can make the playoffs. I think they're gonna be a lower seed than what they was last year. Mm-hmm. But you sign Reggie Jackson back. You get rid of Patrick Beverly, who I think they should have got rid of. Not because of he a bad player or nothing, but I feel like somebody like Bledsoe could be slightly better because Bledsoe is a good defensive player, but he's a better scorer. And I think the Clippers need all the scores they can since Kawhi is hurt. And then they picked up a couple good draft picks. You pick up the athletic dude. I think he's the most athletic person in the draft. I think that rookie. You get they get Justice Winslow. So we gonna see about that. But
so you did not do those too fast. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
To go through all the rest of the teams in the NBA, and you kind of just gotta listen to everything I'm saying. So I'm trying to do all the rest of these teams in 3 minutes. Okay.
Go ahead.
So the next we got the Lakers. We talked about them already. Russell Westbrook. That's gonna be the X factor on their team because Mr. Triple Double, man. Nobody knows if it's gonna fit with them. So that's gonna be the question on Lakers and the health of LeBron and AD. Memphis, they just signed Jackson to his little rookie extension. Ja Morant, everybody know he fun to watch. Memphis definitely surprised some teams last year. They know how to score the ball, and you can't sleep on them. You can't sleep on Memphis this season. They can easily be a playoff team. Miami, theirs all about health too. Jimmy Butler was hurt a couple of times. They got Lowry now, so maybe that takes some of the slack off Jimmy Butler. Bam Adebayo needs to play like the all-star that we know he can be. Last season, I don't think he played up to his potential. That's just my opinion. They also got PJ Tucker on there, so Tyler Hero also needs to step up, and Duncan Robinson. Milwaukee, they're going to be as good as Giannis and Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday plays. That's just that. Minnesota, will they trade Karl-Anthony Towns? Will they trade D'Angelo Russell? Will they just build around Anthony Edwards? Who the hell knows? Because nobody knows what direction Minnesota's going in. Pelicans, I don't know how many games Zion is going to play this year. Hopefully he does play so we can at least say something about him. Brandon Ingram, he should be another all-star if he continues to score the way he was scoring last season. They lost Lonzo. That was a big mistake on their part. The Knicks, they got Kemba Walker. They improved. They got D Rose back. They got a couple of the same players. Their offense is in question because we all know they can defend, but can they score the ball better than last season? OKC. Okay. The Magic, Jalen Suggs is gonna be Jalen Suggs is gonna be fun to watch.
Hold on. You ain't gonna the thunder like that.
I'm sorry. SGA. That's it for OKC. Magic, they keep getting the centers to do this. The Magic keep getting power forwards and centers. I don't know how many they need. The Sixers, Ben Simmons. There you go. The Suns. Will Chris Paul play healthy this season? Will they go to the playoffs
Oh
again?
my
Will
god.
Devin Booker improve? Will DeAndre Ayton get a contract? He believes he's a $200 million player. I feel like he's a $150 million player. That's my opinion. He didn't play well enough in the playoffs for me. Blazers, they got a new coach, Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. I don't think they're going to do anything different than last season. That's just how I feel about it. They didn't improve in off season. They didn't get better on defense. So the Kings, De'Aaron Fox. San Antonio.
Hey.
San Antonio. I'm trying to finish. Look, we already over time, and I'm trying. I got 4 teams left. San Antonio. I'm waiting on Greg Popovich to retire. It seems like they just keep drafting the same type of players. They lost DeRozan, so they really don't have any upside. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. Toronto. They're rebuilding. The Jazz. Toronto. I hope the Jazz improve from last season. They played really well. They had the best record in the West. They have the potential to have the best record in the West again. But in question is the playoffs. Will Rudy Gobert learn how to defend outside the paint?
Will he get better offensively? We don't know.
If he could get a hook shot or something, I don't know. The Wizards. Just trade Bradley Beal. Damn. Just trade Bradley Beal.
Please. Get your value back. Just get your value back.
His value is never left. The Wizards just need to trade and just do a complete rebuild instead of holding on to Bradley Beal. Let that man go. Free Bradley Beal.
Okay, that's basically it. So, like I said to y'all, we're going to wrap it up here. It's been an hour. But look, y'all need to get y'all popcorn because the NBA season starts tonight in less than 30 minutes.
Yes,
the first game, the Nets versus the Bucks. We're going to see Giannis get their rings. We know Katie and Harden going to come back with vengeance. They put them out the playoffs, so they're not going to forget about that. We got the Warriors versus Lakers. We know how deep the Steph and LeBron rivalry go back. Russell Westbrook in LA. Anthony Davis, is he going to be healthy? We don't know. Klay Thompson, man, if he come back, man, how good are the Warriors contenders? We don't know. But these are all 4 teams that are championship contenders. But on that note, I would like to thank everybody for coming out. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm your host, Dante Williams, and then I got my brother, Jimmy Williams, co-hosting this show with me today. And we're going to get up with y'all later.
All right.